District of Conservation is sponsored by the Committee for a Constructive Tomorrow, better known as CFACT. To learn more about our sponsor, head over to cfact.org. Thanks for listening to the program. Welcome to District of Conservation. I'm your host, Gabriella Hoffman. This podcast offers a sober examination into all things hunting, fishing, shooting sports, energy, environment, and the public policy surrounding it. And this podcast also specializes in original interviews that you won't hear elsewhere. Here's what I have for you today. I have another wonderful interview for you, dear listeners, from ICAST. I'm sitting down with my longtime social media connection, but impressive, wonderful lady, Kristine Fischer, competitive bass angler, who is really, I would say, breaking the bass ceiling, doing a lot of stuff, such an inspiration. And if you do not follow her on social media, remedy that today. Kristine, I'm so glad we could sync at ICAST. I would love my listeners to learn your story. How did you first get involved in fishing?
Well, Gab, so it's a pretty cool story. A lot of people will go back to when you were a child and your dad took, you fishing for the first time. That happened, but it was also my mom. So I was born into a very fishing-oriented family. My mom and dad and my brother and I would fish family walleye tournaments, ever since I was, 2, very small. And it was just a huge part of our small family structure back there in Nebraska. Fishing was everything. We were always outdoors. I grew up without a television, which is kind of a rare...
Really?
Yeah. Very, very rare part of my story. We never had a TV through when I was growing up. So that kind of forced us to always be outside doing things. And so that's how I got started. I've always loved it. I was your textbook tomboy for a good part of my life. So, I loved all things outdoors, snakes, hunting, fishing, all of the things.
How did that springboard into competitive bass angling?
So back when I was in my early 20s, I was actually working as a bow tech at an archery shop in the Midwest. I was one of the only females there, actually company-wide, that worked in that line of hard goods. And I was tuning a customer's bow, and they brought in a flyer for a local kayak fishing tournament. And I had done recreational kayak fishing before. I didn't even know competitive kayak fishing existed. And I looked at the flyer, went on, and this will lend to my spontaneity here in a second. I went on Craigslist, bought a used fishing kayak that night, entered the tournament, took third, and the rest is kind of history. I fell in love with it. I started fishing more of these local fishing tournaments, local kayak fishing tournaments. I started doing well. I started qualifying for regional stuff, and from there qualified for this massive tournament down in Lake Fork, Texas, and I got my butt kicked. I goose egged, completely zeroed. And that was one of those moments that really defined my career, because on the long drive back to Nebraska where I lived at the time, I told myself, I thought I was really good. I thought that I could handle this, and I blanked in front of the best anglers in the country, and it was humiliating, and maybe I'm not cut out for this. Luckily, that drive was really long, and about a couple hours in, I was like, you know what? My brain started thinking, if I get up earlier, if I take more time off, if I run and start fishing, I just have to fish different bodies of water, because Nebraska is so limited in what we had. So that's what I did. I started, moving my clients around and traveling to Guntersville and fishing a tournament, traveling to Iowa, traveling to South Carolina, and driving, sleeping at the boat ramp, getting on the water and trying to learn and spend more time out there learning these diverse fisheries. And after a couple of years, it started working out, and I started performing better and better, and here we are.
What has been your ranking? Because on the men's side, it's pretty robust. Everyone knows about Bassmaster. So how high have you ranked? And is there a female equivalent for Bassmaster too?
So right now, no, there's not a female equivalent. It's just men and women compete against each other. But obviously there's not a lot of women. I think right now in the Bassmaster Opens, there's 1 or 2 of us, or 3 of us that fish those out of the hundreds. And the kayak stuff though is really cool, because when I first started there, I became the first female to ever make a top 3. Then I was the first female to ever win a big national tournament. Then I was the first female to ever qualify to represent our country. First female to win the Tournament of Champions. So I literally achieved all of these things competing against men in the kayak space. And I went on to fish boat tournaments starting last year. And just this year, I broke the record for the biggest bag ever brought in a Bassmaster tournament by a female ever in an open.
Seeing that on social.
I feel like, the sky's the limit. There's so much we can do. And anytime that happens, I don't look at it as me breaking these records. I look at it as hopefully other women will see that this is possible and that they can go on and do even better than what I hopefully can do. So I hope that it lessens the barrier and that people feel a little less intimidated, maybe more encouraged to get out and do something, even though we're not largely represented yet. I'm trying to help bridge that gap.
You're a very positive role model in that respect. And again, I want to emphasize that people follow you on social media to see your journey, to track what you're doing. Do you think that could springboard into other species? I don't know if there are other competitions for kayak fishing for, I don't know, like saltwater species, but
yes.
do you think you would do that as well? Translate
Absolutely.
to there?
Yes, and I've actually competed in a few like saltwater kayak fishing tournaments. We've got some really awesome, Annie Nagel out in California. She represents our country on the kayak saltwater side. Amazing gal. I'm lucky to call her a friend. Pamela Worth down in Florida. So the saltwater kayak fishing scene is actually pretty big, and it's really, really neat. But I would love to see, we've got our fly fishing gals out there. I think that's one area of our sport where we see a lot of women in fly fishing, which I think is super cool. But I would love to see it continue to grow and get bigger, maybe into walleye, or, we have a lot of muskie gals out there now, which is what I grew up doing, and that was kind of my roots into social media. But it's just really neat seeing women from all over, all different walks of life, getting into fishing, whether it be as simple as just taking their kids fishing or getting out there, buying a boat and competing at the top level, and everything in between.
What has been a highlight or several highlights for you here at this year's show?
Meeting you, of course, because I feel like it's been a long time in the making.
That's so sweet.
We've literally talked about this for so long, and I've always loved how strong and independent you are and vocal.
That's very sweet. Thank you.
I feel like what you do is so much harder than what I do, so I love it. And the biggest thing, this is like my 8th ICAST, I think now. My favorite part is the people. I love just seeing. It's like a big family reunion every year. We're a bunch of weirdos that love to fish, right? So we all have that in common, and it's just neat. I love meeting people, I love talking to people. I can't even tell you any of the product that I've seen. I mostly use this to come and talk to people.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way too, but there have been a couple products that have stuck out to me. Fishyware is one of my favorite companies. I have their pack right here as we're recording.
It's beautiful. I love
and it's
that.
Great for fly fishing. I even use it for like filming and travel and going to conferences, and so it's very versatile. But yeah, the products are great, and I think there's a space for, of course, talking about the products, highlighting what is cool. And there are lots of products that are to me, I feel like it's an issue of having too many choices,
yes,
and I'm I'm a little overwhelmed with all the choices. But it's great we have it. The alternative is worse if you have no choices. But no, really, the people make the fishing industry. I would say you do. I would say all the friends I've made through coming here. It's my 4th ICAST show across almost 10 years. So I've spaced out my ICAST appearances. But it's so much fun to come back here. It's always we're visiting family, and just to see more women, younger people, even the overlap with celebrities are coming here now.
Steve Harvey is showing up. It's really neat to see that.
And do you think the fishing industry I feel like the fishing industry is in a healthy position. It's super affordable for the most part to access, fewer barriers to entry. Are you hoping with social media to get to more younger people? Do you see people interacting with your social media and saying I want to go fishing because of you? Do you think it's catching on more because of social media? Because social media can be good and bad, but I feel like you're using it for a positive influence. So do you think that we can be better at social media as an industry to get more people on the water?
Absolutely. I think, being good stewards of our sport and keeping conservation in mind, and just at the education aspect of our sport. But I definitely see a lot of that. And for me, I'm pretty old school. Growing up without TV, I tend to look at the screen and look at screen time in terms of our phone, social media, and that's sort of a negative light. So I try to look at it and say, okay, how can I use that to inspire people to maybe do less of the inside screen stuff and get out and get into our sport? And I think we're seeing a lot of that, because I truly believe, and you can probably agree with this, if everybody got out on the water and got outdoors, I think our world would be a lot better place.
Amen to that. No, it's so true, because you can, of course, be connected digitally, and I'm trying to be better manager of my time,
right?
Because I'm getting too anxious, being always on my phone. So for this ICAST, I'm especially attuned to people I'm talking to, interviewing, going to events, because how often do you get this opportunity? And you can always be on your phone back at home.
Exactly.
And so it's just yes, too many distractions. And any time outdoors, I feel like this is the one space, one industry where you can put aside your differences, have fun, bond over the water or on land if you're hunting, and just really savor the moment of catching fish, or breaking a milestone, or trying some cool food, and reminiscing on a memory that you made at ICAST. So it really is one of the few industries, activities that brings people together.
It absolutely is. It's been an awesome time, like always.
Excuse me, I had to shake this.
Continue.
Sorry. Gosh, what were we? Yes, ICAST, again, it's one of those shows where it brings everybody together from saltwater to freshwater, everything in between, and we get to share in our love of fishing, and it's a universal language. So it's awesome to be here, and, you know, it's just one of those things where I hope that as a community, we can continue to foster kindness and, you know, encouragement for others to help them get into the sport and be better anglers, better people, and better humans all the way around.
Choice Hotels get you more of what you value. Comfort Inn, it's calling your name. Save on the stay. Oh, and free waffles are yours to claim. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
If a woman is listening, or even a guy who wants to go into tournament angling, what are some pieces of advice you have? Is it easy to break into? Is it hard?
It can definitely be intimidating, right? And the biggest thing is, you know, people have to remember to have fun. If you're not, the minute you stop having fun, it's going to burn you out and you're not going to enjoy it. And for women specifically, I hear a lot of them not wanting to get into tournament fishing because they're intimidated. And I understand that. Like, I've been there. But all I can say is, one, well-behaved women never made history. So get out there, get out of your comfort zone. If you bump into a dock or back a boat down wrong, that's okay. I've done it too. And the biggest thing is that you're competing against yourself. I never look at like I'm competing against everybody else out there. I always say I'm competing against myself. I want to do the best that I can for me. It's me versus the fish. And I want to go out and have a good time. And at the end of the day, you know, I'm competitive. Like, I love to win. But more importantly, I want to be a good ambassador out there on the water. And I think that at the end of the day, I learn more from the tough tournaments than I do the good ones. So it's a good character builder.
Do you have any target species you've always wanted to angle for or catch that you have not got yet? Anything?
Yep, golden dorado down in Argentina on the fly. Bucket list for me.
Oh, that's one of mine too. And there's so many species that you could target.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, there's a huge list. I mean, I've caught a lot of really cool things in my day. But golden dorado has always been one that I'm like, I would love to do this.
How about the salmon down there? Because the monster salmon that people catch in Argentina, that would be such a life-changing trip.
Oh, absolutely. I think you could make a whole trip out of that, you know?
That's a very cool goal. Is there anything else that we have not touched upon that you want to insert as we round out the conversation?
I think we did a great job of kind of covering, you know, the very short version of my story and everything in between. And no, I think that was good.
Thank you, Kristine. It's such a pleasure to make your acquaintance officially in person. Wish you success in all your endeavors, tournament and otherwise, and I hope we can fish together very soon.
We will one day. I'm sure of that. Thank you.
If you enjoyed this installment of District of Conservation, I would love to know your feedback. Send it my way. Please be sure to leave us reviews on Apple, Spotify, or wherever podcasts are played, and also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to never miss a beat nor a guest announcement. Thanks so much for listening to District of Conservation. I hope you have a wonderful day, and please share the podcast to those who may be interested in learning more about these critical natural resources, environment, energy issues.